Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome back to the Near Robertson Pro career on Snooker 19. Today is time for part 74 of Season 4 and the beginning of the second and penultimate Coral event of the season. It's time for the start of the Players' Championship. It's the last 16 today with a match against the pistol Mark Allen. Now unfortunately, in-game this doesn't work how it does in real life, so a big player is going to go out here. I say that because in real life, players 1 to 8 are seeded, then 9 to 16 go up against each one. Here, they've done two top 8 players against one another, so one of the big boys is very much going to go out here. But we've got a good record against Mark Allen, particularly in the last few matches. We've been unbeaten against him in the last 6. That run extends all over this season, and then in Season 3 as well, as you can see. We've lost to him 4 times, been some tight deciders against Mark Allen, but generally speaking, we've been pretty dominant against him over the last year/year and a half in the Snooker 19 timeline. But I hope you guys are all good. It's all kicking off with the football, but we'll try and keep this a snooker haven. Just hearing that Chelsea are pulling out of this Super League apparently. So yeah, it's all systems go there. And in the snooker, I've just watched an absolutely cracking afternoon session with Ding Junhui and Stuart Bingham. So lots of sport on. Really excited to play Snooker. Probably more than ever, actually, with the World Championships on. There's just this feeling you get towards the Worlds, which is, I don't know, it's special. It's not like any other time of the year. And I am really looking forward to this match. I think we've got a good chance here against Mark Allen. But it's funny how it's worked out recently that we've not quite played our best. I think we've not really captured our form that saw us win the last event we did, which was the German Masters, wasn't it, that we got to the final of? I'm sure it was. I've just had a mental block for some reason. I'm going to have to check this now. It's doing my heading. I've just had a complete mental block, and I can't think. I don't want to get it wrong. Yes, it was. It was the German Masters we won against Mark Williams, of course. How could we forget that? But we've had a string of a few tournaments where we've gone out of the last 8, obviously, excepting the last event, the Snooker Shootout, which, suggested by its name, is a complete lottery. But the 2 events that have preceded this, again, before the Shootout, we've been knocked out in the quarterfinal. The Grand Prix, we got knocked out of the quarterfinals by Judd Trump. And in the Grand Prix, the first Coral event of the year, we got knocked out by well, I've already said that, you donut. The Grand Prix, we got knocked out by Judd Trump. And then in the Welsh Open, the last Home Nations event of the year, we got knocked out by Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Half a chance.
So, half a chance here for a pot, but it's a tricky cut. But it's dropped. There's always going to be a struggle to hold for the black ball there. But to be honest, we're in a bit of no man's land. The pink does go here, but it's tight angle. I just hope I've not been getting too excited watching some of these players at the Worlds this week and thinking I can do the same, but I think we're okay here. Yep, good pot. Oh, that's a good shot. Lines up nice and straight for the red ball. Don't want it to run too much longer, so we get cut up behind the brown ball. But a good long pot to get us started, and let's see what momentum that can give us in this first frame.
Playing this with a lot of power.
So going for the jugular here, trying to open things up, and that's absolutely done so. Brave shot to take on, could have gone wrong. Particularly if we'd have missed that, we'd have had a real problem on our hands, but we've been rewarded for taking that risk.
Well, no surprises here with the long pot attempt.
I hope the game's no quieter than it is usually for you guys. I can do that. Sort that out in editing if it is anyway, but for me, I don't know why, but it seems a bit quieter in my earphones today. Strange one.
14.
But this frame is, without sounding too negative on behalf of Mark Allen and saying it's all over, it's a great chance this to get this frame over quickly, get one on the board. Now, what I didn't realise is that black, of course, is going to go on the pink spot, so that's changed the dynamic here slightly. Thank goodness we're not down to a singular red. And we're okay. But no, I didn't realise that black was going to go on the pink spot. Bit of a misjudgment, but we get away with it on that occasion. Nothing to worry about there.
We know what a prolific long potter he is, so I'd assume he'd take this on.
Obviously pink up bulk, so that's out of the question.
What a wonderful pot.
So I have to use blue or black here. And we don't want to play this again too hard. Don't want to get ourselves trapped. And it is really a one chance saloon here. Just with the black. Which should be achievable.
He's attempting to sink this into the left corner pocket.
Yep, looks fine to me. This is a good break so far. It's been quite a fluent start.
An excellent pot.
Wonderful pot. Outstanding effort.
Very much a confidence game, snooker, and we're showing quite a bit of it at the start of this match. And as I've said previously, we've never really done too much in these coral tournaments. I think, if my memory stands me correct, I think we got to the semi-final actually of this. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. I feel like it was last year perhaps. And then dropped out. Potentially it might have been 2 years ago. Dropped out to Mark Selby. I can't quite remember now. I know we had a run at some point of struggling against Mark Selby in events. And I feel like that this was one of the tournaments that was in. I could be wrong. Left ourselves a little bit trickier than we'd have liked here. I was looking for the black, but not really comfortable with that to the centre pocket. The position's easy enough. It's just the pot we've got to make sure of here. But no problem there. Nestles itself nicely into that pocket. But I did see Ding miss a black off the spot today, which shows you that you can easily get complacent and that frames can run away with you if you're not careful.
He's aiming for the left corner here. Beautifully done.
Oh, wonderful shot.
But without sounding too complacent and getting too risky, you'd think that this frame should just be a case of knocking a few more balls in and then it's a formality. Not been helped by the pink being off its spot. We've had to move the cue ball a lot more than I'd have liked to do that in this frame to keep the break going. But nevertheless, it's been a good start. Obviously, you'd always much rather go 1-0 up or than 1-0 down if you're given the option. And either tends to go one of two ways. We always make a really fast start or we just don't get going at all. Doesn't seem to be any medium between the two, funnily enough. We either get on really well or struggle massively. There's been no, as I say, no middle ground recently.
62.
And I suppose that sets a big tone for the matches we play. Now this black will do it. Hoping it doesn't go back on its spot because that will threaten the next shot we're playing. Just looking for the gaps as we've got to get the next red into the pocket. It's a good pot and this cue ball should come long enough to hold for the black.
70.
Which it does.
He's playing for the right corner here.
And now the frame is over. We're looking to get a first frame century just to put a marker down.
77.
Mark Allen not done a whole lot in this frame, to be brutal. But then he's not really had the chance, so
Pace is key.
we've been clinical. We've played very well at the start of this match. With it being a best of 7, if we can get in early and pounce,
78.
then we've got a great chance of getting a good scoreline here. But again, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
He's looking at the pot into.
But nevertheless, it's a good start. Good first frame. And the way we're going, we're looking good at least to get an opening frame century. Underhit that one slightly, so that might affect us.
86.
Should be alright. That one on the cushion is going to be the problem. To prevent us getting the century here, if there is one.
93.
So if possible, we're looking at getting dead straight on the black. And then just dragging it onto the cushion for the next red. So the black will give us a century. That's exactly what I wanted, just to tie it up onto the cushion. Admittedly not perfect. Need this cue ball to pull up a little bit.
Fantastic century. Brilliant.
Oh, it just about pulls up and we just about get on the red. That is a bit of fortune there. Goodness me.
This is a challenging shot.
So we're going to probably... We've made the century. It's going to be a good one to make a clearance though here.
102.
Yellow not on its spot, so... Just going to have to play the ball to
Long pot.
get onto
Right
that
on the
cushion,
street.
which would be pretty much impossible, I think, if we played the black. But we used a little bit of screw back there just to hold the cue ball, and because we played that a little bit harder than we wanted to, that's not helped at all. So that might be all she wrote, but a very good opening frame with a break of 107, 108 there. Obviously, Mark Allen's not going to come back to the table. It was a good safety, even though we didn't intend to play one. But a very good start. A break, 107 in the first frame.
Neil Robertson.
And that is
And
the
it is
frame.
1-0 to ourselves. After that, Mark Allen to break in the second.
Second frame. Mark Allen.
Just a shame that for even the big events like the Coral events, that it is just the same arena. Really is a shame that. And we got a half chance on this.
No more than half a chance here.
Need to hold the cue ball so we open it up for the black. But we're always good at those long range pots.
Really
It's a
nice
good
opening
starter.
there.
Let's see what we can make of this. Albeit the red won't quite pass the black, so we need to get a bit inventive here. No, it's nowhere near far enough.
8.
Let's just try and play safety, then get that red moved up the table. Or even pot it. Wow. Oh, well, would you believe that? Would you believe that?
9.
You could play that 100 times and never have that result again.
Got the snooker.
Goodness me.
Neil Robertson. 9.
And if I'd have known that was going to happen, I'd have been quite happy playing the shot as I originally planned it. Play the red and then line up for the black, but it was played in such a way that it would get safety, of course, wouldn't line up for the black. Got a snooker in behind the black. So really unfortunate there that indeed for once we got a bit of a lucky break. These things happen. Let's move this one around and hopefully it should come back into the pack, and it does. Yeah, it's a good shot. It's a good shot. A little bit of a tempter to play safe on, but it's not gone too far out that it allows Mark Allen to have any chance of potting it. So, good shot played there.
So he's looking to play safe again. This is fascinating.
So it could be a bit more drawn out this frame. Obviously we were straight in last time out, opened up the balls, and it was just a case of potting them. However, this time we're going to have to fight a little bit more for it, you would suggest. Hitting the jaw isn't going to help Mark Allen's case though, but on this occasion, you know, maybe if we were a couple of frames in front, you'd be a bit bolder and go for something, because there is probably a pot on if we were desperate, but this early on, only being one frame up, no point risking things too early. You can also play a cracking safety like that. A lovely thin nick off the brown, and it's put us in right behind the yellow. This could now be our chance, but of course he has found one of the reds that was free from the pack,
but a chance nonetheless.
and he's played a good escape from that snooker. Now, tricky pot here. I think it might be best for us to play safe. Because if we miss the pot, it does leave Mark Allen on the one to the corner pocket. Now, it might do anyway, but the pink might just be our saviour here. We've got the cue ball right on the bulk cushion anyway, so it's going to be difficult for him to hold for the black, and he decides against it. Whether he didn't have the angle or not, I'm not sure. Goodness me, Mark Allen himself has nearly just put the black in. But it ends up being quite a good safety in the end, funnily enough. So we just need to judge now what the best shot is from here. be inclined to play this up to the cushion, you know. Because the red won't pass. And from there, he can try a very tight one into that middle pocket, that centre pocket. But I wouldn't, well, I wouldn't dare if I was Mark Allen to try and play that. So let's see how this works. Again, could have misjudged this, I don't know. But it's going to need a good pot for him to start a break here. Yeah, just playing a safety shot. And those shots are sometimes harder. The ones
This is building up to be a really interesting test.
that are close to the middle pocket, because obviously gives you a smaller angle to play with. Need this red to get some sort of safety. And the fact of the matter is, I don't think it has. I think you can see this to pot. Maybe not so tempting with the black, not on its spot, but he isn't going to be bothered about that. He's Mark Allen. He's got his first chance. We left just the one red on. And let's see what he can do. Can he develop this chance into something a lot more?
Perfect pace required for this shot.
9.
Bit lucky to stay on the black there. Very nearly went wrong. He went into the reds, but didn't really get
Excellent cueing.
far out of them. Just stayed in that cluster.
17.
And if you ask me, he's chasing the cue ball around a little bit here. He's not quite comfortable.
22.
Just that one to the middle pocket on. So he needs to do something if he wants to stay at the table. And he's played for the black, and he's played a very good shot for the black. Should be able to open these up now, and he has done. Goodness me, so close. Just a few inches to one of the reds going in the pocket, but thank God it didn't for Mark Allen's sake. And much like our opportunity earlier, I would be very surprised if he didn't sail through this now and just, not necessarily cleared up, but got a good enough break for the frame to be won. Although I'd say playing shots like that don't really help his cause, makes it trickier for him if he's going to have to that queuing from the bulk. But no problems on that occasion.
45. 46.
Might be now though, he's just about got onto the pink.
52.
Tricky queuing from there, but he's held the cue ball nicely. Kept control of it. And as I said earlier, you'd think this should be a break that will win Mark Allen the frame. So both players pretty clinical so far from their chances.
Touch required here.
60. 61. 68.
So,
And that puts him 59 ahead. With 59 on, the red confirms
69.
Byron Snooker's he's won the frame. The colour will just really sign the dotted line on that. Yep, 74 up with 51 to go. So let's see if he can take the high break of this match. Make it a century. I know it's very early days, but it's been a while since we've gone close to Mark Allen. Recently we've beaten him quite easily. Who knows, the way it's been going recently, we could well just have a really close match. And that being said, I don't know what, was it in the Welsh Open? I don't think it was in a tournament recently. It might have been the Scottish actually, or the UK. It's one of the home nations events where it was a best of 9 or a best of 11. And we went to a decider with Mark Allen. That was a really good match. So actually, if you think about it, it could have a sign that something like that match. But Mark Allen can't quite make the century, misses the last red. He won't be bothered. He's got a frame on the board, and it's now one apiece. So status quo. But let's see who's going to be rocking all over the world after the next 5 frames maximum. We got him in a snooker from the break off. That isn't going to harm things. And straight away, we've been given an opportunity. Given how tough that was to come about in the last frame, we'll certainly try and take that. Again, a few loose reds. Black's going to be on its spot. That's a big help. I was commentating on a match last night on the Snooker 19 tournament, which you'll see soon, hopefully on YouTube, that I'm part of the commentary team of, and I was discussing if it's easier to make breaks like this, where you've got to be so precise, or whether you're effectively not whacking the cue ball around the table, because that's just a phrase that's too harsh to use for what's actually going on, but is it tougher to play these sorts of breaks and keep the cue ball on a string, or to move the cue ball around the table?
Position looks good for a colour.
17.
Now this red will go, so if we can get ourselves a position for it, it might not be worth opening them up straight away here. Just need to make sure we don't play this too hard and hold for the red.
Nicely onto a red.
The only issue here is how we get on the black. I feel like we've got to go into them, maybe not as aggressively, just so we can get out of there.
Good split.
But you're taking your life in your own hands when you play a shot like that. Fortunately, on this occasion, we've come in pretty much in a perfect triangle with the pink or the black. We can play either or, and then of course you've got the fourth option of the blue. And the blue looking pretty attractive at the moment, actually.
Well, I'm not surprised he's taking on the long pot here.
Right in the heart of the pocket.
Great pot.
Excellent stuff.
Really well played.
30.
So we got him snooker from the break-off. And
Well,
it's happened recently, actually, especially with the long matches we've been showing on the channel, that we've really been drumming up the frames very quickly.
Great cueing.
And I don't know if that's just coincidence or what, but we haven't had too many scrappy safety battles. We did have somewhat of one in the last frame, I suppose, but when Mark Allen got in, he just did the business.
36.
And if it's going to be a match like that, then we need to take any opportunity we're given.
$37.
Not as open as the previous two frames is this. There's four reds in a cluster. Might not be important as we come to the end. You know, we might have enough,
Pace is very important.
as you would suggest we would actually with the other reds on the table. But nevertheless, it's something to think about.
44.
Need to stay on the high value colours to avoid
Finding the blue
having to
ball
play
up
into
here.
those four reds.
Well, that's
If we want to make a century, then that's a different story. But the primary objective is to win
Top shot.
the frame at this visit.
49. 50.
And to be honest, on reflection, we'd have to do a pretty bad job of matching colours with these three reds to have to play on these four reds.
57.
Unless I've just got my maths chronically wrong, which again is a possibility. Now I'm hoping this shot holds.
into the
Let's
right
see.
corner.
There's just something about it that I didn't really fancy that, but no, it dropped.
Superb cueing.
If you're a little bit out with those, the pocket can just throw it out. So, this makes us lead by 65. We'll just need this red and the black to finish it off, which I'm quite glad about because that one on the cushion that we're facing, I don't really fancy that either. So, this will put us 66 ahead with 67 on. And the black, we'll just put the icing on the cake and get another frame over. It's been very clinical snooker so far. Try and move this red off the cushion, but if it doesn't go right, then we could be into snookers potentially. It's not gone too badly. Certainly a half chance. Honestly, didn't want to move it that much, but that should be it for the frame. There's 5 reds left, which is 67 points, sorry. This red would put the icing on the cake, but I can't really see it, so he might be into snooker territory here. He might be looking to play snookers. Yeah, nowhere near that.
Neil Robertson.
Not sure whether that keeping that cluster as it is plays into Mark's advantage or not. I'm not too sure about that. He's missed the red, I think. Yep, he's missed that red.
Nice.
I'm going to open up the pack here, purely just because that makes it a bit more awkward for Mark Allen to play snooker. If they're all in one position, he can play Finn off one. With where they are, it's going to be tricky for him to play snooker. But I'll tell you what, he's done it. But again, it doesn't really matter. As long as we get out of these, it's no issue. Remember, we're more ahead than what's on the table. So he'd require a snooker to give us a problem. He's just trying to play, you know, what I would call, without being too harsh, a fairly simple one of just rolling up. Not rolling up, but ending up behind the blue or pink. But it's quite a short range one, which helps us out a little bit more. And this is a better long range snooker. The cue ball's got longer to travel.
That looks very safe to me.
So he's had a few half snookers, but, well, that double kiss with the blue hasn't helped. To be honest, I think that wherever we were, we'd have looked at trying to swerve this in. It's a gimme, just hit it and it goes in. Obviously, put a whack of backspin on it so you don't end up potting the ball. But that red should finish off the frame.
1.
Might as well just... In fact, we'll play the yellow just to make sure. We'll play the blue, actually. Just to make sure. Because he might, you know, I can't see, but with 4 snookers he needs 16 points. He might come back, but if the blue has been potted, you're looking at more 5 snookers. He ain't going to come back for that. So a good third frame. It's been really clinical stuff so far.
The cue ball looks pretty safe here.
And given the match I commentated on last night was a best of 3 and took an hour and a half. Well, that's just pigeon droppings on that, to be quite honest. So clinical, it's unbelievable. From both players, not just us. But the most important thing is that we hold the lead. This now is a big frame number 4. Can we get within one of the winning line? Or does Mark Allen start to come back into things? Let's see. I'll try and play a bit of a chancer here.
Taking the red on.
Again, should be able to get back round if it doesn't go right. Albeit it's a big kiss on the red. But we get away with it because our pot is bang on accurate.
1.
A good day for our potting, to be fair.
He's looking to pop this into the left corner pocket.
But no obligation to have to take this to its full extent and win this in a visit.
Wonderful pot.
It's going to be tricky from here.
Well, it goes. Half a chance here. What a beauty.
Good pot on the red.
And the cue ball is
Trying to come round for the black. It's not going to stay on its spot. It's going to be pottable. But what we want to do is try and open up the reds. And, well, that ain't going to happen with that shot, unfortunately. Might just be able to play a thin nick on the red and knock it in here. But actually, I think with where the pink is, I don't think it's possible.
tricky pot coming up.
No, I was okay with leaving it there.
Close though, but that won't provide any
Purely
size.
because I didn't think we'd leave much on from that. Once again, as we've seen, playing safeties from where Mark Allen was, it's been a bit of a difficult task. I thought, well, it's an opportunity to put him in the same position, but it could have easily gone wrong. Have quite a heavy contact with the green, this is. And put us nicely in line with the brown. So that red now moved over to the side cushion. Hopefully this red doesn't go too quickly. It does knock another red out. Need this cue ball to slow up. It hasn't done, and that was a bit of a mistake, wasn't it? We didn't need to play that as hard as we did. The red ball ultimately wouldn't have travelled so far, and of course, the cue ball would have stayed up bulk. So misjudgment from us there. And based on what's happened in the last few frames, this could be a chance that Mark Allen takes it back to 2 each, puts us back in a stalemate, and then makes it a best of 3. Let's see. Again, all we can do is sit in the chair until we get another chance.
7.
But a little bit of a blunder from us there. Maybe a safety that we didn't have to play there. We could have been less aggressive.
15.
This will be the telling shot. And he's still at the table. He's still going to be able to pot this long red, but he'd have liked to have opened up the pack, I would have thought there. It was a good opportunity, and as we've seen, with that red going all the way up bulk, you've got to cover a lot of ground to open up the reds. So I think she's going to pop the green and, well, play a shocker there. Very nearly putting himself in huge trouble, but he's not helped himself out much anyway here. Yeah, he's actually snookered himself.
Mark Allen, 20.
And that is, I know I said my shot was a blunder earlier. That is what you would definitely call an absolute disaster. No question about that. And that has really opened up the frame in our favour. Again, the swing here, as I said at the start of the frame, between 2 each and 3-1, it's huge. It really is. 2 each opens the game up. 3-1, and Mark Allen, 1 missing, you're out. So, a big blunder there from Mark Allen. Every ball on this table is now potable. Those 4 reds in a lovely line of stern. Don't really want to disrupt that if I can. So we can just knock them off one by one without having to do too much work. But believe me, if there is a player that could muck that up, it's me.
7.
But I would have thought Mark Allen will be spitting feathers in his chair after that. Well, you either hit that though, so that doesn't give us too much help. Oh, we didn't want to hit the black on the way through. And we focused so much on the position there, we've missed the pot.
Robertson, 14.
Well, that is a golden opportunity that we just haven't taken. That's disgusting, that really is. But I'll tell you what, as one player misses, it encourages the other.
1.
Mark Allen's missed a black. Goodness me, we got away with that big time. Big time. I was only just about to say the problem with our play, what's held us back, is that in those frames that have been a little bit scrappy, our opponent's bottled and we need to win to take the initiative, we haven't done. But my goodness, we got away with that. Not been punished at all.
8.
Mark Allen potted a red and that was it. That is extraordinary. Suffering the same as us, I think. Just thinking, oh, I've got a chance now, I've got to take it, and not really focusing on what's right. And that poor pack of 4 reds has definitely been disrupted now. We'll never see that come to light, which is a terrible shame. It has to be said, though, here, this is a great chance to make it 3-1. I'd definitely take 3-1 at this point, although this is thinner than I would actually liked. This might be called stupid, I don't know. Definitely stupid.
That foul will really annoy.
Just didn't like the thin nick on the red. Really didn't. And I thought, well, we can swerve round.
Mark Allen, 4.
Didn't hit a red and gave away 4 points. But once again, we have been massively let off, which, considering the events of the match so far, you wouldn't expect. You really wouldn't. Both players have been so clinical. And in this little exchange we've had here, it seems both of us have just dropped our guard completely.
1.
And been completely off it. We can't afford to give Mark Allen another chance. Really can't. We've got to take this now.
6.
Our short game's been very good. We've not been able to keep that up over a long range of frames. That's why so many of these matches recently have gone close. Or we've been absolutely battered by somebody because
7.
we're not playing our best snooker. Our short game is as good as anybody, but our long game isn't quite up to scratch at the moment.
13.
But that being said, in the first 4 frames here, it looks like we're going to get a good start.
14.
3 of the first 4. Need the black and the red.
Looking to drop this in gently.
Black will give us a massive advantage, of course. That'll be 7 points. So that puts us 34 ahead with 35 on. But we do need this red to do it. Just slot the red in. You'll need 2 snookers from here. And it's there.
In it goes.
So a big get out of jail free card there.
In this frame.
That just all seemed to happen so quickly, that did, really
Taking
did.
This on to the right middle.
And luckily, we've come out on top. But Mark Allen will be thinking, goodness me, how did I muck that up? I mean, the first mistake was from us, of course.
Just the colours remaining.
Missing the red when we were looking too much to get position on the black. And then Mark Allen doing the same, but with the opposite ball. You can't make it up, can you? Been the first frame like it, though. Both players been really clinical in the 3 frames that have come before it, and we've definitely got the advantage now at 3-1. Can say that over and over again.
To drop into the pocket.
This might not be hard enough to go into the centre pocket, but on this occasion, although it's frustrating, it doesn't really matter. We're ahead by 3 frames to 1. We've got a real advantage now. We just need one of the next 3 to get into the next round, but it's funny, this game.
And he's starting to build
You don't want to look at the finishing line too soon.
This lead will be a concern. He needs to settle down a bit here. This is a key frame.
Neil Fold's quite right. Mark Allen needs all 3 frames to the end of this match, so can't afford to be too negative or aggressive or play a shot like that. Again, it lets us in early on. This could be a chance. We've gone a little bit too far for the black.
Nicely onto
Might
the
just
colour.
be able to hold for the red on the cushion. Think it might be a bit too difficult, but let's see. Oh, it's tight. Really is to hold for this red on the cushion. We've held for it, but have we held the pot?
8.
Yes, it's just about dropped. Goodness me, I know some occasions where that wouldn't have happened. The red's dropped, but we're a little bit too straight on the black. Feels like my looks ran out a bit there, to be honest.
Lots of power on this shot.
See how we get on, trying to play into the reds like this. I don't think it'll work. We have gone into them. And to be fair, if you don't try, you'll never know. And that was, you could say, fortunate. I don't care what you say, but we've got a great chance from the outset here. Mark Allen had 1 shot in this frame and left a half chance red. And that has given us a great chance to kill off this match and get into the next round without breaking too much of a sweat.
$24.
Being said, still work to do here. As long as that red doesn't run too much yet, it's okay. We're back onto the black ball. Now just need to bypass this red and play it into the same pocket as the black.
Yeah, played it well.
And if you're staying on the black, it usually means you're going to get a decent break going. And once again, I'm not going to be too displeased about that. I'm absolutely fine with that. Just snatching at our shots a little too much.
Neil Robertson.
Wanted to stay on the black, and in playing that position, we had to play the shot at a certain pace. We hadn't quite got it right,
He's playing the pocket.
and that's our downfall at the moment. We're trying to be too precise, I think. But Mark Allen, has he just broken here? I think he might have done. It was a tough, long pot. But again, I think you have to look at the Mark Selby model here of, well, you know, he might be giving this away a little bit too easily. If Mark Selby loses a match, he always says that, you know, if I lose, then at least I know my opponent's battled for it, and I've battled for it, and that he's won the match between the 2 Titans. But Mark Allen giving it up a little bit too easily there, although this isn't easy in our position. I think we're well within our rights to take it on, but we're an absolute mile off there. I tell you what, that's worrying, because I was confident that was going to go in,
Neil Robertson.
which says a lot for my aim there. And despite having a really good opening start to this frame, it's turned into a bit of a disaster. In truth, I'd be surprised if Mark Allen didn't make it 3-2 here. He's had more than a few chances, and somebody a bit more clinical would have made Mark Allen sit in his chair for the duration of this match and knock him out of the tournament, and that player clearly isn't us.
16.
It's funny what losing a frame at this point can do to the psyche.
17.
And start to think, well, should have played that like that, shouldn't have played it too hard, should have got the match over and done with. And you can start to get frustrated with your shot choice. And if he wins this, then you're looking, oh, well, we're only a 1 away from a decider.
25.
So our only enemy has been, for a few matches now, is ourselves. Although, not an easy shot for Mark Allen here. He's still expecting to pop the red into the centre. Yep, he does just lose control of the cue ball slightly, so has to bring that back. Which he has done, as you'd expect, very well.
$35.
And he's opened up the reds. He's left 2 of these on a cushion, or at least close to. So again, an interesting dynamic. He's pretty much bang on straight for this black. So where does... Well, he's got a bit of angle actually to play on here. Yeah, he's played that one well.
50.
To line up for the next red. I keep thinking of places it can go wrong, but truthfully, I just know that in these situations, you're not going to give this up easy.
51.
Again, a little bit straight on the black. I'd be playing the pink here. But no, Mark Allen plays the black and
58.
once again plays it well. And that red is in the pocket. Is it going to be this one on the side cushion that causes him a little bit of bother, or is he going to play a snooker? That's brave. That's brave from there. So, I think he should have just played the snooker, because now it's not in his control, really, although that is a brilliant snooker.
That's what he was after. Nicely played.
Mark
And
Allen,
no way we can
62.
really fluke a pot here, unfortunately. As much as we'd like to. Played this well, to be honest, to play that, but we could fluke a pot.
He's playing the swerve.
No, it's not going to be good enough there. Could do with the pink helping us out.
That's beautifully judged.
Well, it's beautifully judged, but I think he can play this to the centre, can't he? No, he can't, actually. Trying to target him behind black and pink. It's not quite happened, though. Thin nick here, but you'd fancy him to pot this. He's just going to play safe, though. Or is he playing a double? No, he's not. And that cue ball's safe. Just a reminder that Mark Allen only needs the red ball to win the frame. We need everything to win the match. Where's this red going? It's gone a bit too far. That's match... well, it's not match over, but I'd say it's frame over. I didn't expect that red to move that much. That's astonishing.
He'll be annoyed with that.
So I think Mark Allen will just play the pot here and be done with it.
He just needs this red.
But he's missed it. Oh, and this could be an opportunity. It really could. Just make sure of the red, I would say.
This is a half.
And then this really opens up. And it's there. The red has dropped.
1.
This is a chance now. We need the... Well, we can pot anything from here, but let's see what's going to be best for us. If we pot the blue, it's just all about holding for this yellow.
Now, can he drop this into the right corner?
So this is tight. It really is.
That's a top shot.
But this yellow should hold probably for the centre pocket. We really want to make Mark Allen pay for what he did in not playing the pot on the red originally and ultimately coming back up to bulk originally so that the red was tricky to get on.
6.
This has happened to us in the past and it's painful. Wouldn't mind inflicting the same damage on an opposition player. And if we can clear up here, we have, unless I'm being really stupid with the maths, won the match. Yep, we're 20 behind, 22 on. Just a case of how we get on pink and black. But we'll worry about that next time round. So, blue. Let's have a look.
13.
Tricky to see. I think if we get a good enough angle, we might be able to pot the pink. Let's just see where we get with some topspin here, whether we can get a touch on any of these. We don't want to pot it into the corner pocket. That would be a disaster. Yeah, it's safe there.
18.
And where we've put this might be an opportunity. He says to put the cue ball in behind the black, but there's no guarantees of that. Wow, this is awkward.
He just wants to ensure he gets this cue ball tight to the cushion with the shot.
Where's the ball going? That's okay. That's okay there. Just don't leave it anywhere that's potable.
18.
He's gone for it. Oh, he's left this potentially into the middle pocket. I just feel like anything... Again, we're on the back foot. We weren't expecting to be in this.
Plenty of risk.
We've got to go for it. And we've judged it well, and we've potted it. So it's a black ball shootout. If we can pot this, it's match over. But I think on this occasion it's a bit too far, personally, to try and pot the black. So let's just play the correct pace and keep this black at the centre of the table. Whoever pots the black will win the frame. Of course, if it's us, we'll win the frame by a solitary point. And we go through to the next round. Let's see what Alan's bottle's like here. He might have just potted it. He has, but he's potted the cue ball!
Robertson. 7.
Well, would you believe that? That is one of the strangest ways I've ever won a match. It was a brilliant way to pot the black, but he came back up the table and potted the red. Oh, that's a real shame for Mark Allen. Really is. But nevertheless, I think fairly well deserved. Not our best game, but it was good enough, clearly, to beat Mark Allen by 4 frames to 1. Not much of an issue to beat Mark Allen there. Didn't break too much of a sweat, maybe apart from the last frame or two. But nevertheless, we're through to the last 8. Through the first round by a victory of 4 frames to 1. And it's Luca Brissell now in the quarterfinal. Another best of 7 encounter. I think we've got a really good chance against Brissell. These matches almost in flipped order, if you like, what you maybe would expect. So, interesting here. A best of 7 to get into the semis of the Players' Championship. And you'll be able to see that match on the channel in full on Friday. If you enjoyed that, make sure to leave a like down below. Comment your thoughts as well. And subscribe for regular Snooker 19 content. Thank you very much for your company today. And I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye for now.